You're living inside a timeline right now, but here's something most people never realize: it's not the only timeline that's available to you at this very moment. All around you, in every direction, infinite versions of reality are vibrating just slightly out of sight, hovering just beyond your reach, waiting patiently to be collapsed into your direct lived experience through the power of your focused awareness and energetic alignment. And yet, despite all these possibilities existing simultaneously, most people remain completely locked inside a single repetitive loop, continuously living out the same behavioral patterns, experiencing the same disappointing results, wrestling with the same frustrations day after day, constantly wondering why absolutely nothing changes in their external circumstances, even though they desperately want something more fulfilling and different. Let's shatter something fundamental here that's been holding you back without you even realizing it. You are not stuck in your current circumstances because of fate, because of destiny, or because of some cosmic bad luck that's following you around. You are stuck, plain and simple, because your entire system, your mind, your physical body, your emotional state, your energetic frequency is still completely attuned to and resonating with the old timeline that you're trying so hard to escape from. You can't break free from this limitation by simply wishing for it with your conscious mind alone. You can't escape your current reality by forcing change through sheer willpower or desperate action. And you certainly can't trick the quantum field by pretending to be someone you're not or faking a vibration you don't genuinely embody. Quantum shift isn't about manifesting harder, trying more techniques, or pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. It's about stepping into a completely new state of being so completely, so coherently, with such total alignment that the quantum field literally has no choice but to mirror back a completely different reality to match your new internal state of being. Let me explain something that changes everything once you truly understand it. Most people think manifestation is fundamentally about desire, wanting something so intensely, so badly, with such burning passion that the universe has no choice but to eventually deliver it to their doorstep. But here's the truth that no one tells you, the truth that changes everything: desire alone, by itself, does absolutely nothing in the quantum realm. The field doesn't respond to how badly you want change or how desperately you need something to be different. It responds precisely and exclusively to how aligned you actually are with the specific frequency of that change you're seeking. This means that right now, even if you are saying all the right affirmations with perfect wording, making all the vision boards with beautiful images, doing all the visualizations with crystal clear detail, you might still be unintentionally signaling and reinforcing the old timeline without even knowing it. Why does this keep happening? Because underneath the surface level of your conscious awareness, your physical body is deeply wired for the familiar patterns it knows. Your nervous system is genuinely addicted to old emotional loops. It's been running for years. Your subconscious mind is continuously broadcasting patterns of fear, doubt, and scarcity, even while your conscious mind is loudly shouting, "I want abundance, I want love, I want success in my life." And here's the most shocking part that most manifestation teachers won't tell you. The quantum field listens to the dominant signal that you're broadcasting, not necessarily the loudest one that you're consciously aware of. Let that truth really land in your awareness for a moment. The dominant signal comes from your full system vibration, not just what you consciously think about, but what you genuinely feel in your body, what you truly expect based on past experience, what you naturally embody when no one's watching. That's exactly why you can say "I am wealthy" 1,000 times with perfect conviction and precise wording. But if your physical body contracts with anxiety and tension every single time you pay a bill or check your bank account, the field picks up and responds to the contraction, not the affirmation you're speaking. That's precisely why you can visualize attracting love all day long, with beautiful scenarios playing in your mind. But if this is the invisible trap that keeps so many people spinning endlessly in the old timeline they're trying to escape. They genuinely believe that change starts outside of themselves, with circumstances shifting, with actions producing results, with external validation arriving. But quantum shift always begins inside of you, with your internal state, with nervous system coherence, with authentic alignment between all parts of yourself. You must become the version of you that already inhabits and lives inside the desired timeline you're seeking. Not someday in the future when conditions are right. Not when the physical evidence finally arrives to prove it's working. But right now, in this present moment, regardless of what your external circumstances currently look like. And here's where it gets really wild, where quantum physics reveals something that sounds almost too incredible to believe. Quantum physics teaches us that all possibilities exist simultaneously in the field of infinite potential right now. Every timeline you could possibly experience, every version of yourself you could possibly become, every outcome you could ever imagine, they are all already vibrating and existing in the quantum field at this very moment. When you shift your internal vibration through aligned practice and embodied awareness, you're not actually creating something completely new from nothing at all. You're collapsing your awareness into the specific version that was already waiting for you all along, just vibrating at a frequency you hadn't yet tuned into. This is exactly why mystics throughout history, brilliant inventors who changed the world, and great thinkers across time have all spoken about the fundamental power of frequency, of numbers, of vibrational codes. Nikola Tesla famously said something that holds incredible wisdom. If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe itself. These numbers aren't magic tricks or superstitious symbols, they point directly to universal patterns, to harmonic relationships, and to the deep truth that reality organizes itself around vibration and frequency. So the question isn't actually how do I get what I want through manifestation. The real question, the one that changes everything, is who do I need to become vibrationally to naturally align with the timeline where that reality already exists. And becoming is not pretending to be someone you're not. Becoming is not faking confidence or positivity. Becoming is not performing for others or for the universe. Becoming is a full body, full soul shift into genuine coherence where all parts of you align. This is the beginning of the quantum shift that transforms everything. You are not here to fight against the old timeline or resist what's been. You are here to rise into the frequency of the new one that's calling you forward. But before we can go deeper into exactly how to do that in practical terms, I want you to pause right where you are and reflect honestly on this. What version of you has been making your choices today? What timeline have you been feeding with your focus, your attention, your precious energy, and most importantly, are you truly ready to let that outdated version go so a new one can emerge? Sit with these questions for a moment. Breathe into them deeply. Feel the edges they press against inside your awareness. Because in the next section, we're going to dive into the invisible forces that keep you locked in the old loop, the resistance, the subconscious patterns, the emotional imprints, and exactly how they hijack your sincere attempts to shift. This is the layer that no one warns you about, the hidden part that explains why so many people know the theory of quantum manifestation intellectually, but never actually experience the transformation in their lived reality. Are you ready to uncover it? Let's go deeper together. So let's talk about the real reason people don't shift timelines, the actual hidden mechanism that keeps them stuck. It's not because they're lazy or unmotivated. It's not because they don't want change badly enough or lack desire. And it's definitely not because they're doing manifestation techniques wrong or following the wrong method. It's because they're still energetically entangled with the version of themselves that's fundamentally wired to survive the old timeline, and that version, while outdated and limiting, is deeply familiar. And here's what you need to understand. The subconscious mind loves the familiar more than it loves progress, more than it loves growth, more than it loves positive change. The old timeline doesn't need your conscious permission to keep playing out in your life. It just needs your unconscious participation, your automatic engagement. Every time you react the same way to similar triggers, tell the same story about who you are and what's possible, expect the same outcome based on past patterns, the old signal gets reinforced and strengthened. It's like a well-worn neural pathway in the physical brain. The more you walk down that same path, the deeper and more automatic it becomes over time. And soon that path becomes so automatic that you're not even consciously choosing your timeline anymore. It's choosing you, running you, determining your experience without your awareness. Here's where quantum physics and neuroscience intersect in a way that most people completely overlook, creating a blind spot that keeps them stuck. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect tells us something profound, that the act of observation itself collapses a wave of infinite potential into a single definite event, a particle, a choice, a manifest reality. But here's the twist that changes everything. You're not just observing reality with your physical eyes and conscious attention. You're observing it with your beliefs about what's possible, your emotions about what you expect, your subconscious expectations based on past experience. Now, add neuroscience into this picture. 95% of your behavior is driven by the subconscious mind, which stores all your emotional conditioning from childhood, trauma from past experiences, limiting beliefs about yourself, and identity patterns you've been running for years. This means that most of the time, it's not your conscious intention collapsing the quantum wave of possibility. It's your subconscious programming doing the collapsing, operating completely below your conscious awareness. Let that truth land deeply in your awareness. You're trying to manifest from the 5% of you that's awake and aware, while the 95% of you is still tuned to fear frequencies, lack consciousness, distrust of life, and survival mode patterns. And the quantum field responds to the dominant signal, not your wishful thinking. So, when people say manifestation doesn't work for them, what they really mean without realizing it is, I haven't yet shifted the internal observer, the subconscious patterns, that's actually collapsing my reality moment by moment. This is exactly why people loop endlessly through the same experiences. This is why you can change your job, your romantic partner, your city, your entire external circumstances, and still find yourself experiencing the same emotional patterns, the same relationship dynamics, of the same financial struggles. Because nothing external has the power to override an internal frequency that hasn't been fundamentally changed at the root level. Let me put it another way that makes this crystal clear. The timeline can't shift into a new configuration if the observer you, your consciousness, your nervous system hasn't shifted first. So what's actually anchoring you in the old timeline you're trying to escape? Usually it's resistance, and resistance is sneaky in how it operates. It shows up as overthinking and analysis paralysis, as procrastination that feels justified, as emotional numbness that protects you from feeling, as hyperproductivity that keeps you too busy to face yourself, as fear disguised as logical thinking and being realistic, as the voice inside your head that says, be reasonable when you want to take a leap. But resistance always boils down to one fundamental thing. Your nervous system believes it's genuinely safer to stay where you are, even if you consciously hate it, than to leap into the unknown territory of a new timeline. And that survival belief lives in the body, not in the mind. Stored trauma from past experiences, emotional suppression from what you couldn't process, inherited fears passed down through generations, they're all coded directly into your nervous system, into your cellular memory. That's why you can know something intellectually with complete clarity, but still not be able to live it in your daily actions. That's why affirmations fall flat and feel hollow. Why visualizations fade when you open your eyes. Why you keep falling back into the same old cycles despite your best intentions. The resistance isn't located in your mindset or your thoughts. It's in your body chemistry, your nervous system regulation, your energetic field. When your nervous system is dysregulated and stuck in survival mode, it sends a signal of threat to the quantum field even when your mouth is saying, I'm ready for this change. That energetic contradiction keeps collapsing the same limited outcomes over and over. It's not personal judgment against you. It's simply physics and biology working exactly as designed. In the comments below, drop one word, a single word that represents the old habit you're ready to break. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's lack, maybe it's silence, maybe it's doubt. Whatever it is, call it out, not for me, but for you. Because naming the habit is the first step in dissolving it, in taking away its power over your choices. Nikola Tesla once said something that wasn't metaphorical poetry, it was literal truth. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This wasn't spiritual bypassing or wishful thinking. It was scientific precision based on years of experimentation. Your life is a frequency broadcast happening right now. Your thoughts create waves. Your emotions create waves. Your posture creates a signal. Your breath creates a pattern. They all create a specific vibrational pattern that either naturally aligns with your desired timeline or actively repels it through contradictory signals. This is why many people are magnetized to sacred numbers like 369, 777, or sacred geometry patterns. They intuitively sense something real, that the universe speaks in pattern, that frequencies are not random chaos, they're encoded into the fabric of reality itself. These numerical sequences aren't superstitions, they're harmonic keys that unlock doors in consciousness. You are not just a person passively navigating a life that's happening to you. You are a frequency generator embedded in a responsive quantum field that's constantly listening to every signal you send. And you've been broadcasting the same old pattern for so long, so consistently, that you've mistaken it for who you actually are at your core. But here's the good news that changes everything. You don't have to fight that old pattern with willpower or force. You just have to stop feeding it your attention and energy. You have to withdraw your investment from the old story and redirect it to the new one. Let me ask you some questions that reveal where your contradictions might be hiding. Where are you still vibrating in fear while declaring you have faith? Where are you still bracing for rejection while claiming you're seeking love? Where are you still trying to attract abundance while secretly feeling unworthy of receiving it? Where are you still playing small while saying you want to expand? These are the subtle energetic contradictions that keep timelines from shifting, that keep the quantum field mirroring back your hidden beliefs rather than your conscious desires. And most people aren't even aware these contradictions exist because they're operating below conscious awareness in the realm of the body and the subconscious. I want to share something personal with you. Years ago, I was doing everything right on paper: affirmations, visualizations, action steps, all of it. But nothing was shifting. I felt stuck, frustrated, like the universe wasn't listening. Until one day I realized my body was contracted. My nervous system was in constant fight or flight. My breath was shallow. I was performing manifestation while my system was screaming danger. The shift happened when I stopped trying to manifest and started learning to feel safe in my own body first. When I regulated my nervous system, when I learned to breathe into expansion rather than contraction, when I addressed the stored trauma that was keeping me locked in survival mode, that's when everything changed. Not because the technique suddenly worked, but because I became a different observer, collapsing a different reality. In the next part of this journey together, we're going to explore what it actually takes to shift timelines, not in abstract theory, but in felt, embodied, practical daily practice. You'll learn exactly how to align the conscious and subconscious parts of yourself, how to regulate your nervous system and body into coherence, and how to start showing up as the version of you that already lives inside the new reality you're seeking. But before we move forward into that practical territory, I want to invite you into something real and meaningful. If you've been feeling like something's clicking into place as you watch this, and if part of you is waking up to your own creative power, hit subscribe and the bell icon next to it. This isn't just a channel, it's a frequency. If you felt a nudge or a shift while watching, you're already tuned in. We're not just watching content here, we're practicing new ways of being. We're not just absorbing information, we're creating possibilities together. We're not just learning, we're remembering who we actually are. I'm truly glad you're here. Let's keep growing and shifting together. Now, we reach the part that most people never actually get to, not because it's hidden or secret, but because it's so elegantly simple they overlook it completely, looking for something more complicated or mystical. Shifting timelines isn't about forcing the quantum field to obey your demands or controlling reality through willpower and determination. It's about aligning so completely, so coherently, with the version of you who already lives the reality you desire, that the old timeline simply can no longer hold you in its gravitational pull. Let's break this down into clear understanding. Think of the quantum field like a vast, infinite ocean of pure possibility and potential. Every timeline you could experience, every version of yourself you could become, every outcome you could ever imagine, they all exist in that ocean right now as probability waves, as potentials waiting to be actualized. When you focus your attention with intention, when you observe with coherence, when you align your entire being, you collapse a particular wave from the realm of potential into the realm of physical form and lived experience. But here's the key that most manifestation teaching misses entirely. You don't collapse the wave into reality by simply wanting it desperately or wishing really hard. You collapse it by matching it energetically, by becoming a vibrational match at every level of your being. And matching isn't just a mental exercise or positive thinking practice. It's emotional alignment, physical embodiment, vibrational coherence. It's how your entire system naturally hums when you're in genuine coherence with that reality. So, why do so many people struggle to match the new timeline they're trying to access? Because they're trying to get there by thinking about it intellectually. They intellectualize the shift. I know abundance is available in the quantum field. I know love is possible for me. I know I can heal my body. But knowing something intellectually isn't even close to enough for quantum collapse to occur. Your body needs to know it at a cellular level, needs to feel it as lived truth. Your emotions need to know it as experienced reality, not just hoped for fantasy. Your breath, your posture, your habits, your identity, they all need to be signaling clearly and consistently, I am now the version of me who naturally belongs in this timeline. This is where the practice of embodiment becomes absolutely essential. Embodiment is not a spiritual buzzword or trendy concept that sounds nice. It's the missing link between knowing and being, between wanting and receiving, between intention and manifestation. It's the practice of inhabiting the frequency you want before the external world gives you permission, proof, or validation. Let me give you a concrete example to make this real and practical. If you're shifting into an abundance timeline, embodiment might mean spending money with trust and openness instead of panic and scarcity, even when the numbers are tight. It might mean breathing deeply into your body when the fear of not enough rises, instead of collapsing into anxiety and contraction. It might mean showing up to opportunities with genuine openness and excitement instead of bracing for disappointment or feeling like you don't deserve it. If you're shifting into a love timeline, embodiment might mean softening your heart when every protective instinct wants to shut down and build walls. It might mean taking emotional risks even though vulnerability feels terrifying. It might mean practicing vulnerability even when your old wounds are screaming at you to hide and stay safe behind your defenses. If you're shifting into a health timeline, embodiment might mean treating your body as though it's already healing, already regenerating at the cellular level right now. It might mean feeding it with respect and gratitude rather than punishment or guilt, moving it with joy and see the pattern emerging here. You don't wait for the timeline to shift first before you start living differently. You start living differently with intention and coherence, and the timeline shifts in response to your new consistent signal. This is the paradox that confuses most people and keeps them stuck in waiting mode. This is exactly why so many manifestation efforts fail completely or produce disappointing, inconsistent results. They're conditional in their approach. I'll feel grateful when I get the job I want. I'll relax when I find the relationship that's right. I'll feel abundant when the money arrives in my bank account. But the quantum field doesn't work that way at all. It can't respond to future conditions. It only responds to present frequency. The field isn't testing you to see if you're worthy or patient enough. It isn't punishing you for past mistakes or karmic debt. It's simply reflecting you with perfect accuracy, like a mirror. And reflection happens instantaneously in the quantum realm, not after a delay or waiting period where you have to prove yourself. This is where we return to the profound wisdom of Tesla, to the 369 code, to the universal patterns encoded in reality itself. These aren't superstitions or magical thinking designed to give false hope. They're reminders pointing us back to the fundamental truth, that life organizes itself around energy and frequency, not around effort and struggle and grinding it out. The 369 pattern specifically speaks to the harmonic structure of reality. 3 represents the threefold nature of creation. 6 represents the balance and harmony of opposites. 9 represents completion and the return to source. These aren't arbitrary, they're mathematical principles that govern everything from musical harmony to atomic structure. When you align with these principles, you're aligning with the fundamental architecture of reality itself. So the real work becomes this simple yet profound question: can you become coherent in your entire being? Can you bring your mind, heart, body, and actions into alignment even when nothing external has changed yet to prove it's working? Can you hold the signal long and consistently enough for the probability wave to collapse into physical manifestation? Because here's the paradox that no one talks about in manifestation circles, the secret that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The timeline doesn't shift when you get tired of waiting and give up in frustration. The timeline shifts precisely when waiting is no longer part of your frequency at all, when you're already living as though it's done, complete, accomplished. Pause for a moment. Breathe that truth in deeply. This is the quantum code that unlocks everything. The version of you who has what you desire isn't waiting in some distant future timeline. They're vibrating right now, in this present moment, on a frequency you can access today, this hour, this minute. The question is simply, will you tune to it before you see the proof? Will you trust the invisible before the visible confirms it? Before we move forward, reflect deeply on this. What would your day actually look like if you acted, breathed, and moved as the version of you who's already living in the desired timeline? What small choices would naturally change? What emotional habits would shift without effort? What conversations would end or begin? How would you walk into a room differently? How would you respond to challenges? This is not about grand gestures or dramatic life changes that announce themselves. It's about subtle, persistent alignment in the small moments that make up your days, the mundane moments that actually create your life. In the next section, we'll explore how to turn these insights into actual practice, how to stop looping through information and start living the shift moment by moment. Are you ready to embody the timeline you've been trying to chase? Let's continue this journey together. In the comments below, share one thing you truly want to manifest right now and explain why it's important to you. Maybe it's financial freedom, maybe it's a loving relationship, maybe it's vibrant health, maybe it's creative expression, maybe it's something uniquely yours that doesn't fit any category. Let this be a small but profound declaration, a signal to the universe you send not just in this space but into the quantum field itself. I'm reading every comment and I'm giving away 2 one-on-one free sessions to help you bring your manifestation to life. Be honest, be real, be you. Let's begin here with a truth that changes everything. The only practice that truly matters is the one you actually live consistently in your daily reality. We live in an age where it's incredibly easy to consume knowledge endlessly, gather techniques and methods from different teachers, binge watch manifestation videos for hours, and yet never integrate a single thing into lived experience that creates actual transformation. Why does this happen to so many people? Because consuming information feels like progress to our minds. It gives us a dopamine hit, makes us feel like we are doing something. But real progress, actual timeline shifting, only happens when the body, the breath, the actions begin to match the information you've consumed. So, how do we bring the quantum shift into daily life in a way that actually works and creates measurable change? First, you must understand the principle of microalignment, and this changes everything about how you approach manifestation. Most people think shifting timelines requires massive dramatic changes like quitting their job suddenly, moving to a new city, ending relationships, or making bold declarations on social media. But quantum reality responds to coherence, not to size or drama or grand gestures. A small act done with pure aligned intention can carry more vibrational weight and collapsing power than a giant frantic gesture done from desperation and fear. Let's break this into simple living examples you can implement immediately, starting today. If you're shifting toward an abundance timeline, your daily practice might be breathing deeply and consciously when scarcity thoughts arise instead of spiraling into fear and panic. Expressing genuine gratitude for small resources you already have, amplifying the signal of "I have enough right now," spending money with presence and trust rather than panic, guilt, or holding your breath when you hit the purchase button, saying yes to small investments in yourself even when fear says no. If you're shifting toward a love timeline, your practice might be opening your posture when you want to shrink or hide yourself in social situations, reaching out with kindness instead of withdrawing in self-protection when you feel vulnerable, speaking words of affection, even if vulnerability feels edgy and uncomfortable, making eye contact, smiling at strangers, letting yourself be seen. If you're shifting toward a health timeline, your practice might be tuning into the subtle sensations of vitality already present in your body right now, even if you feel unwell. Choosing foods, movements, and rest with the energy of respect, not punishment or control. Catching the inner dialogue of criticism and shifting it gently to support. Thanking your body for all it does rather than focusing on what's wrong. These small acts are quantum keys that unlock timelines. They tell the field clearly and unambiguously, this is who I am now, not who I am trying to become someday when I'm good enough, but who I have decided to be today. But here's the part most people miss that keeps them stuck in the loop. The practice is not about perfection or never slipping up. It's about returning over and over again with compassion. You will wobble. You will fall back into old loops. You will catch yourself thinking, feeling, or acting from the old timeline. This is guaranteed to happen. This doesn't mean you failed or that manifestation doesn't work for you specifically. It means you're alive, you're human, you're learning a new skill. The power isn't in never slipping back into old patterns. The power is in how quickly you notice and come back to alignment without beating yourself up. Every time you notice yourself slipping into the old frequency and gently guide yourself back without judgment or harsh criticism, you strengthen the new timeline. Every time you pause, breathe consciously, and choose coherence over chaos, you reinforce the shift at a neurological level. Every time you act as though the new reality is already true, even when the external world hasn't caught up yet, you collapse the probability wave with greater intensity. This is the dance of quantum embodiment. It's not linear progress, it's spiraling upward with periods of integration. Now let's talk about tools that can support this practice and make it easier. For some people, practices like these tools are not magic tricks that bypass the inner work or shortcut the process. They're anchoring devices that help the subconscious mind receive the message clearly, I am attuned to the new reality now. But remember this clearly, no tool works without embodied participation. You can't outsource your shift to a ritual or technique alone. The ritual works because you show up with intention and coherence and full presence. So here's your invitation for today, your practical next step that starts the momentum. Identify one specific pattern from the old timeline you're ready to disrupt. Choose one small, practical act that embodies the new timeline you're aligning with. Commit to practicing that act today with presence, with sincerity, with love and attention. It might be something as small as pausing for 3 conscious breaths before reacting to a trigger that usually hooks you. It might be choosing to speak one sentence from your desired self, not from your fearful self or wounded self. It might be sitting quietly for 5 minutes and visualizing yourself surrounded by the frequency of your chosen reality with genuine feeling and emotion. It's not about what specific action you do or checking boxes. It's about how you do it, the quality of attention you bring, the depth of presence you maintain, the genuine alignment you embody. And the beauty of quantum mechanics is that the field doesn't need time to catch up to you. It responds in the now, in this present moment, because past and future are constructs of consciousness. As you step into this practice, remember something important. You are not alone in this journey of transformation. You are part of a collective of beings awakening to their power, rediscovering their creative nature, and learning how to dance consciously with the quantum field. We're all in this together, supporting each other's evolution. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to stay connected and hit the bell icon to get notified. You're stepping into a space where these kinds of awakenings are our foundation, where we explore the art of conscious creation, quantum alignment, and embodied manifestation together as a community of conscious creators. And in the comments, share one small act you're committing to today, something that anchors you into your new timeline. It could be as simple as one word, breathe, or trust, or open, or receive. Your word matters, your act matters. Because you matter, and your transformation ripples out into the collective field. So here we are at the final step of this journey together, and it's the most important part that determines whether this becomes just another video you watched or an actual turning point in your life. You've traveled through the science, the energy, the subconscious layers, and the embodied practices. But now comes what truly determines success or failure, sustaining the shift over time through all of life's ups and downs. Because the quantum field doesn't care if you visit the new timeline once for a brief moment. It reshapes around you when you live there consistently, when you continuously broadcast that frequency even when things get challenging. Most people approach manifestation like a single event they visualize once with intensity. They affirm for a week with enthusiasm, they journal enthusiastically, then they wait and hope. And when results don't show up immediately to validate their effort, they collapse back into the old frequency, not realizing that the true magic, the true transformation, is in staying consistent through the invisible period. Sustainability is the master key of quantum shift that separates those who manifest occasionally from those who live in continuous alignment with their desires. Let's be clear about what this means. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to feel positive all the time or putting on a happy mask. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending you're high vibe when you're genuinely struggling with real problems. This means developing the emotional and energetic capacity to return again and again to alignment, no matter what happens externally. Every time you wobble and come back to center with awareness, you strengthen the signal exponentially. Every time you notice an old loop pulling at you and gently choose the new timeline instead, you reinforce the shift at a cellular level. Every time you act, speak, breathe, and choose as though you already live in the desired state, the old timeline loses its grip on you, its power over your choices. This is not punishment or endless work that never ends. This is mastery, the path of becoming. Let me offer you a simple roadmap for sustainability that you can follow. First, daily awareness practice. Start your day not with your to-do list or checking your phone for notifications, but with a tuning, a calibration. Ask yourself, what frequency am I bringing into today? Are you carrying fear or trust? Are you expecting struggle or flow? Are you braced for disappointment or open to miracles? Set the intention consciously even before your feet hit the ground, before you engage with the world. Second, embodied action throughout your day. Practice micro-alignment consistently in every small choice. Notice when your actions match your desired timeline and when they don't, without judgment. If you want abundance, are you acting with generosity or scarcity in small moments? If you want love, are you opening or armoring your heart? If you want health, are you nurturing or neglecting your body? Small, repeated shifts matter more than occasional big leaps that fade away. Third, emotional regulation practice. You will get triggered by life. You will fall into doubt when things don't go as planned. This is human nature, not a sign of failure. The power lies not in avoiding it or pretending it doesn't happen, but in returning quickly. Breathe deeply. Ground into your body. Reconnect with the version of you who already knows with certainty, this is who I am now. Fourth, community and symbols. Surround yourself intentionally with reminder symbols like numbers, mantras, or sacred images that anchor you into coherence when you see them. Stay close to communities and voices that reinforce your chosen timeline rather than pulling you back into old stories. Let the external world become an ally through conscious curation, not a distraction that scatters your energy. Finally, gratitude as amplifier. Gratitude is the emotional signature of already having what you desire. When you practice gratitude genuinely from the heart, you signal to the quantum field, I am aligned, I am receptive, I am whole. This amplifies the coherence of your energetic field and accelerates the collapse of the desired timeline into physical manifestation. Remember this truth deeply. You're not doing this practice to get somewhere in the future. You're doing this because this is the somewhere you've been seeking all along. You are not chasing the timeline anymore. You are becoming the timeline itself through your choices and presence. Make sure you share this video with your friends and family. You might be a blessing in disguise for them at exactly the moment they need to hear this. For you, it may be just sharing a video link, but for someone in need, it may mean a life transformation, and their gratitude will increase the positive energy flowing back to you through the law of reciprocity. I would like to thank you from my heart for walking this journey with me today. You are not the same person who pressed play on this video. You are vibrating slightly differently now. You are carrying new awareness, a new code, a new possibility inside your consciousness that wasn't there before. The real magic isn't in remembering everything we've talked about or taking perfect notes. The real magic is in what you do next, in the choices you make in the next 24 hours that either reinforce the old timeline or collapse the new one into being. So here's my invitation, not a homework assignment, not a checklist to stress about, just a living, breathing invitation. In the next 24 hours, surprise yourself. Do one thing, just one thing that belongs to the version of you living in your desired timeline. Maybe it's a choice you wouldn't normally make, a gesture of kindness or abundance, a conversation you've been avoiding, or even a private shift inside your mind or heart that no one else will see but you'll feel deeply. It doesn't need to be big or dramatic or Instagram worthy. It just needs to be real and aligned with who you're becoming. And when you do it, know this, you are no longer waiting for change to happen to you. You are being the change itself. You are no longer hoping the universe will deliver. You are becoming the delivery system through your embodied frequency. Think about it this way. Every great teacher, every mystic, every quantum physicist who understood reality at its deepest level has pointed to the same truth in different languages. Reality is not fixed. Consciousness creates. Frequency matters. You are more powerful than you've been taught to believe. When Einstein discovered that energy and matter are interchangeable, he was revealing something profound about manifestation. All of this science, all of this ancient wisdom, all of these discoveries point to one undeniable conclusion. You are not a victim of reality. You are a creator of it. And the only question is whether you'll create consciously or unconsciously, whether you'll collapse timelines by choice or by default. Most people live their entire lives on default mode, running the same programs installed in childhood, reacting to the same triggers, expecting the same outcomes. But you're here because some part of you knows there's another way. Some part of you has always known you're capable of more, that reality is more fluid than it appears, that transformation is possible. That knowing is not delusion, it's not wishful thinking. It's your higher self, your quantum self, calling you home to your true nature as a conscious creator. And every time you choose alignment over habit, every time you choose coherence over chaos, every time you choose the new timeline over the familiar one, you answer that call. I want you to understand something crucial. The work we're talking about here isn't about becoming perfect. It's not about never having fear or doubt or struggle. It's about changing your relationship to those experiences. It's about not letting them define your identity or determine your choices. The old you might have felt fear and stopped. The new you feels fear and moves forward anyway. The old you might have experienced doubt and collapsed. The new you experiences doubt and chooses trust despite it. The old you might have hit an obstacle and given up. The new you sees obstacles as the universe testing your commitment to the new timeline. This is the shift in consciousness that changes everything. You're not trying to eliminate the human experience. You're learning to navigate it from a higher frequency, from a place of empowerment rather than victimhood. And here's something beautiful. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. The neural pathways of the new timeline get stronger. The emotional patterns of coherence become more natural. The vibrational frequency of your desired reality becomes your default state rather than something you have to force. This is when manifestation stops feeling like work and starts feeling like flow. This is when synchronicities multiply. This is when opportunities appear out of nowhere. This is when people notice something different about you, even if they can't name what it is. This is when your external reality finally catches up to your internal shift. But, and this is important, you can't wait for the external shift to believe in the internal one. You have to believe in the internal shift so completely that the external one has no choice but to follow. This is the leap of faith that every timeline shifter must take. This is the quantum jump that separates those who transform from those who stay stuck. So let me ask you directly, are you ready to take that leap? Are you ready to stop waiting for permission from your circumstances? Are you ready to stop requiring proof before you commit? Are you ready to embody the new timeline starting today, right now, in this moment? If the answer is yes, then understand that you've already begun. The fact that you're here, that you've watched this far, that something in you resonated with this message that's not random, that's your quantum self orchestrating your awakening. That's the field responding to a readiness in you that's calling in the information and tools you need. Now, the question becomes, what will you do with this readiness? Will you let it fade like every other moment of inspiration, or will you honor it with action, with practice, with commitment? I'm inviting you to honor it. I'm inviting you to make today day one of living in your new timeline, not someday when you're ready, not when you figure it all out, not when the circumstances are perfect. Today, now, with whatever you have, wherever you are. Because here's the final truth I want to leave you with. The universe doesn't reward perfection. It rewards commitment. It rewards consistency. It rewards the willingness to show up again and again, even when you can't see the results yet. It rewards those who dare to become before they have evidence that becoming is possible. You are that person. You've always been that person. You just needed to remember. And if this video has helped you remember even a fraction of your power, then everything we've shared here has served its purpose. If this video has stirred something in you, if you felt even 1% more aligned after watching, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Not because I need subscribers, but because you deserve to stay connected to content that elevates your consciousness and reminds you of who you are. Let's grow together. And here's a challenge. If this video hits 1000 likes, I'll drop another part with secrets from ancient wisdom that will blow your mind. Quantum techniques that the mystics used to collapse timelines that have been hidden for centuries. And speaking of hidden wisdom, in the next video, we're going to explore something that will completely transform how you understand manifestation. We're going to dive deep into the hidden connection between your dream state and quantum timeline shifting. You'll discover why your dreams are actually quantum rehearsals. Why what happens in your sleep is just as important as what happens when you're awake, and how to use your dream state to collapse the exact reality you desire with precision. We'll uncover techniques that bridge the conscious and subconscious mind in ways you've never heard before. This is advanced level quantum manifestation that most people never discover. You won't want to miss this. Thank you for your presence here today. Thank you for your energy and attention. Thank you for daring to become more of who you really are rather than staying comfortable in who you've been. Thank you for being brave enough to consider that reality might be more malleable than you were taught. Keep going. Keep choosing alignment. Keep surprising yourself with what's possible. Because when you shift your frequency, when you change your timeline, when you step into your power as a conscious creator, everything shifts with you. Your relationships transform. Your opportunities multiply. Your reality reorganizes itself around your new frequency. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. This is practical quantum physics applied to human consciousness. And you now have the map. The question is, will you follow it? I believe you will. I believe that's exactly why you're here. And I'm honored to walk this path alongside you, to support your awakening, to witness your transformation. Because your shift matters. Not just to you, but to everyone whose life you touch, to the collective field we're all part of, to the future timelines that branch from this moment. You are more powerful than you know. You are more creative than you've been told. You are more deserving than you've been taught. And the timeline you desire is waiting for you to claim it, not someday, but now. So go, step into it, embody it, become it, and watch as reality bends to meet you exactly where you've chosen to stand. I'll see you in the next one, where we go even deeper into the quantum mysteries of consciousness and creation. Until then, stay aligned, stay committed, and most importantly, stay in the knowing that you are the creator of your experience. Like if you felt it, share it with someone who needs it, and comment what clicked for you. I read every single one. Oh, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of what we are building together. You've got this. The universe has your back. And the new timeline is already here, waiting for you to step in.